I am jealous of deadbeat dads. Like, that's a legitimate statement. I mean, the ability to show up and get the kids all the cool gifts, take them to all the cool places, never have to discipline them. Because it's like, it's really hard to discipline your kid if you're not there every day. Because even if you discipline them in the moment, it's like as soon as you walk away, they're back to doing what they were doing. But being able to just, hey man, let's go to the amusement park, have the best day ever, and then, all right, I'll see you after you've gone to school. You had some girl break your heart. You got a bad grade on a test. You didn't do well at the game. Like you have a bunch of heartbreaks and disappointments, and then I pop back up, and it's back to the cool stuff. All right, we're gonna go shopping. We're gonna get you all these new clothes. That that sounds pretty good. Like it sounds like a really good deal. I'm not saying I want to do it, but am I jealous sometimes? Yeah. I mean, come on. Who doesn't only want to be present for the highlights? Because even though I like being involved and I love being involved, sometimes I'm involved in some things that aren't so glamorous. Like I don't make my child a spectacle on this channel, but I discipline him. I correct him. We have difficult mornings when he wants to take a shower for an hour and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I wake you up 2 hours early so that we can have time to relax and we're not running around, but you want to be in there singing and dancing." But I got to discipline the kid for having fun. Deadbeat dads don't do that. They discipline when it's an extreme situation. Somebody got to get on the phone because you got suspended from school. Dad steps in. Some big moment. But parenting doesn't happen in those loud moments. It really happens in the cracks. It really happens on the day to day, which is why, I mean, you're not really parenting if you're not there every day. It's just not the same thing. Even if you are the person who just has like a crazy busy work schedule, so you know you're home in the evening, maybe you have dinner together, then the kids got to go do homework. You see them for a few minutes, then they're off to their room. Then on the weekends, maybe you go out and do something. I mean, that's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much a deadbeat dad. I know it's not fair, but it's not the same thing. And that's why I always say, like, I empathize more with women or whoever is doing the child rearing because I don't want to be stereotypical, even though we both know the truth. Look, it is hard to deal with the ups and downs of being a young person, of being a toddler, of being an infant, of being a preteen and a teenager, and you got to be active, man, or it's just you're giving away a lot of the valuable pieces. A lot of the times when you have an opportunity to really make an impact on a child, they happen over breakfast. They happen in the car rides after something devastating has happened or something disappointing has happened. They happen um, when we just get into bed and we're trying to figure out what movie to watch, or he's telling me some story um, about something that happened at school, and I have to, ask him further questions like, well, why is Brian doing that? Or do you think Lisa's cool? Or do you, case in point, I mean, I'm talking to my son about having a crush on somebody. And it's just like, we got to talk about having a crush before we can talk about love and real relationships and dating and all the more complicated things. But deadbeat dads are only there for the big moments. All right, son, it's your wedding day. Like, whatever advice you're offering at this point, come on, man. Just cut the check. You chipping in on this thing or what? Like, whatever you're here for, just do that part. Don't try to give me day-to-day advice if you're not there day to day. And I say this because as I've grown older and I start to really reevaluate the way I was raised, and because that's what parenting is. Like, it's really just trying to correct all the mistakes in your own childhood. You're trying to figure out every single thing that went wrong and trying to make sure that does not happen for your kid. And then you're also trying to figure out how can you make their childhood better than yours. And almost none of that is about finances. Almost none of it is about the highlights. It's always about the small things that your parents missed that you wish they picked up on, or times when they should have interfered but they didn't because they didn't want to pry, or they did interfere and they prevented you from having a certain interaction or a certain experience. Like, that's what parenting is. It's not wearing matching shoes. It's not going out and taking Instagram photos. It's not making a phone call to say I love you. Like, that stuff is nice. I mean, it really is. And every time when I have ended up having to, go travel for work, or um I was just thinking, like, the worst gifts I have ever given my son were always when I was busy at work. Like, not so busy that I didn't talk to him, but we just lost a little bit of connection. And I'm talking about a week. I go do a job for a week and I come back, which this is what really got this on my mind, like really thinking about being a piece of trash. It's like, oh, I've been gone for a week. I got to show up with a present. Those are always the presents that he never touches. Those are always the things that he cares the least about, no matter how expensive they are. No, because this is the other thing, or at least, maybe it's just a me thing. Those presents are always the ones that are the least thought out. They always feel a little bit performative, a little bit rushed and last minute, because it's like, well, what are kids into, as opposed to what was my son just talking about last night? What has he been constantly, hinting at, or what has he been identifying as a problem, or, do his shoes fit, or which shoes do I need to replace, or oh, his jeans are starting to get a little bit too short. He's getting a little bit like, it doesn't ever really feel like that. It always feels like, well, you got to you can't show up empty handed. You got to give him a highlight. So it is easier. It is way easier to show up for the highlights. It's way easier to do the big moments. And I'm jealous because sometimes the little moments, the cracks, the day to day, it takes a lot out of you. You're constantly siphoning your own energy, and you're always trying to be there for them, and you're trying to provide this and that. And it's a bagel for breakfast, or I get home late from work, and even though I get home at 2 a.m., I make sure I wake him up at 6, or I'm supposed to, and then I sleep in because I'm exhausted, and then he wakes me up at 7 by being in the shower forever, and then I rush out and try to put his lunch together. That's the stuff that deadbeats don't know anything about. That's the thing that weekend dads don't know anything about. One of this is the thing, and this is kind of like a crazy setup that people do, where they only see their kids on the weekends. You only see the kid in the situations that are not stressful. You only see them when it's chill and relaxed, and they casually got to wake up in the morning, and they don't really have a lot of homework, and it's just free. You don't see them when they're stressed about the test is coming up on Thursday. Test over. Now they're back to party time. You don't see those moments. And I am just a little bit jealous of that. I want to do some highlights, man. I want to go and ride the Ferris wheel. I want to go and take you to the place that you always talk about you want to go to. I want to be able to take my time and effort and spend all my free time making the money, so I can casually spend it on the weekend doing whatever you want. I want to spend $400 on you because I was able to work overtime to make that $400. So I don't even feel it. I want to be a deadbeat dad too sometimes. But I will say this. People ask, is it more expensive to pay child support than it is to be a full-time parent? And I would argue that it does cost more to raise a kid full time. It's not as much as you expect. When you think about paying child support and not being there, you don't realize all of the real value that you lose in the parenting experience. You can only get so much from the highlights. You can only get so much from the moments. It only feels so good to drop off the expensive gift if you're not there to help them put it together. So even though parenting is expensive, it is way more valuable than you think to be there every day. Even though sometimes I do wish I was a deadbeat.